A concept which is pertinent to this new context of world Englishes is that of English as a foreign language. By the mid 20th century, when lots of people around the world had started learning English, it was realized that all English language teaching situations or contexts were not the same. For example, it wasn't that native speakers were teaching English to people who were learning it for the reasons which were better known to native speakers themselves. So it was realized that English language teaching learning situations were all different, and therefore this domain of English language teaching was divided into two main branches: English as a second language and English as a foreign language. Let's see what we mean when we say English as a foreign language. In English as a foreign language situation, learners have some other language at their disposal, which means that they already have learned their mother tongue, they have already acquired their first language or home language, and have come to learning English as a foreign language after having acquired their first language. And they learn English without having any native speakers around them. For example, if somebody is learning English, let's say in Saudi Arabia, they will not have any native speakers around them. Similarly, in an EFL situation, a person will have very restricted purposes for learning English. Maybe they are learning English because they want to do some reading to keep themselves abreast of latest developments in science and technology, or maybe they are learning it only because they for academic purposes. For example, they have English as one of their subjects on the syllabus, and that is why they are learning English. English as foreign language learning takes place in a foreign country. Of course, if you are learning English in a native English-speaking country, you will not learn it as a foreign language. But when the same language is taught in a foreign country, let's say in China, Saudi Arabia, Japan, those who learn English in China, Japan, Saudi Arabia, etc., they learn it as a foreign language. And in an EFL situation, in a classroom, usually all the students are from the same country. So if English is being taught in a Chinese school or university, all the students in the class will be Chinese. So the students share the same first language and the same culture. They're not from different cultures or different nationalities. And learning English does not usually have any obvious benefit for them. For example, it may not really be needed for finding a better job or getting admission in a very good university, or for clearing the admission test of a prestigious university in the country. So English may not have any obvious benefits for them. And in some cases, in fact, in most cases, the English teacher is the only English speaker students have exposure to. So all the English they can use is with the teacher. As soon as they go out of the class, they will not be able to find any English speaker. So there are very few opportunities available to them to use the English language outside the classroom. And students also have extremely limited exposure to the English culture because of the limited use or understanding of the language in that particular country. The use of language is restricted on the media, for example, TV, films as well. Therefore, they do not have lots of opportunities to hear the language outside the classroom. In an EFL situation, students or learners are not expected to be able to speak the language. So they are not really expected to have developed a good command over the spoken English. Compared to other English language teaching situations, in an EFL situation, the expectation is of a low proficiency level. The expectation from the students that they will the expectation that people have of the degree of proficiency that they will attain is much lower than other ELT situations. And because of this reason, because it is believed that in EFL situation learners do not attain a very high degree of proficiency in the language, they are considered less than students or learners in an English as a second language situation. So in an EFL situation, we have learners who are learning English in a foreign country, which is their own country, and English is not the only language or is not the main language that they use. They have another language which is their main language, and they learn English only as a foreign language.